Good morning, everybody, and welcome back from spring break. I hope you all had a wonderful break and all rested and fired up and ready to continue on. Today, we're going to be working with division of polynomials. It is a skill that we're going to develop between today and tomorrow in order to help us in our quest to master graphing of polynomials. Which we will continue then on Thursday. So we're going to start with division of polynomials. We're going to start by dividing a polynomial by a monomial. Remember, this is a trinomial because it has 3. This is a monomial because it has 1. And it's real simple and real easy. All you're doing is seeing how many times this 10n to the third goes into each of these. So it can basically be written as n to the third plus 10n squared over 10n to the third plus 3n over 10n to the third. And now we go ahead and you just simplify. So 50n to the third over 10n to the third is 5 plus, I could get rid of the 10s here, n squared and n. That leaves me with 1 over n. And when I simplify the last fraction, I end up with plus 3 tenths n squared. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it for dividing a polynomial by a monomial. All right, and that's real quick. That's real easy. That's part of what tonight's homework is. The second part of tonight's homework, we are going to work with division of polynomials. We're going to divide polynomials, in this case a trinomial, or in the case of question number 11 here, a pennomial, 4, 5, 6 terms. So it's actually a hexanomial because it has 6 terms, by a binomial. Now, in normal class times, we would show you, I know everybody just got a little shiver because this is long division. It's been forever since you've done long division. It's a skill, and we would normally do this to start with. However, because these are different times, where I'm going to show you an idea called synthetic division, which is actually a much easier method of dividing polynomials by binomials. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to get rid of that real quick. And so what you do is you start by writing down just the coefficients of the number that's being divided. So I'm going to write down here 4. I'm going to write down a negative 37, and I'm going to write down the negative 30. Okay? And then I just put a line out here, and I'm going to put a line underneath here. And what we do is then we take the divisor, the number that we're doing the dividing by, and we're going to take this negative 10, but over here we're going to write positive 10. The key here is it's the opposite of what you have in the binomial here. So I'm going to put a positive 10 out here. And then all I do is I bring this first term down, so I write the 4, and I multiply. 10 times 4 is 40, and then I just add these two together. Negative 37 plus 40 is 3, and then I multiply again. 10 times 30, or 10 times 3 is 30, and then I add those two together, and I get 0. Now, all you have to do is write out your answer. And when you write out your answer, you know this was 4, goes with the x squared, 37 with the x, negative 30 was by itself. So I'm going to write this with an x to the first power. It's going to be 1 less than what we started with. And then I've got a positive 3 here. So my final answer is 4x plus 3. So when you divide 4x squared minus 37x minus 30 by x minus 10, the answer, the result is 4x plus 3. Now, it doesn't matter. We're going to do a little bit longer one down here. Then this one's got the 6 terms. So you do it exactly the same way. So we're going to put down all the coefficients. So the first one is 1, then negative 8, then positive 19, then negative 19, plus 18, and minus 24. Okay, I'm going to put my line here, and I'll put my line here. Just helps keep me organized. Once again, you're going to take the opposite of this. Now, my two examples both had -2, so I'm going to put +2 out here. It was +10 on the top one. But if that says +2, you're going to want to write a -2 out here. Again, bring down the first term and then multiply and add. 2 times 1 is 2. -8 plus 2 is -6. 2 times -6 is -12. 19 plus -12 is 7. 2 times 7 is 14. -19 plus 14 is -5. 2 times -5 is -10. And that gives you +8. 18 plus -10. 2 times 8 is 16. And I always put this little box here because this is the last one. And this gives me -8. Now notice in the first one we had 0, which means it worked out nicely. And this becomes an important point to remember, which we're going to come into on Thursday. The difference between having a 0 here and having a -8 or a remainder down here. So on this second one, the answer, remember we have n to the 5th is what we started with. So this is going to be 1 n to the 4th, n to the 3rd, n squared, n, and there's no n. 4, 3, 2, 1, and nothing. So the final answer here is n to the 4th minus 6n to the 3rd. That's a +7, so we'll do plus 7n squared minus 5n plus 8, and then we have this remainder. So a remainder, not a reminder, a remainder. So it's going to be minus 8 over what we divided by, which was n minus 2. N minus 2. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is our answer when we divide this long polynomial here by n minus 2 over here. That little is just a little mark from my pen. Ignore that. Oops, there we go. So that's what that actually should look like. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, here's what the answer is when you divide this long polynomial here by n minus 2. Hopefully this helps with your homework. All right? Thank you. Bye.